מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. שלום עליכם מלאכי השורש מלאכי.
Respect for the judges. Do not blaspheme Yahuwah or curse the ruler of your people. Exodus 22:28. Besides the respect of Yahuwah and the rulers, Jewish tradition also extends this law to the respect of the judges. We know how vulnerable judges are to all sorts of dangers and threats when they have the task of condemning criminals. As the representatives of the civil law, all the curses of the accused ones and their families are pointing them, and many of them receive threats or are even killed before the end of the trial. At the light of this law, we can understand why such things happen. Because the judge does not represent his own laws. It is not of his own personal interest to try others. Just as in an earthly court, the priest, who is the representative of the divine court, does not make judgments according to his own ideas and desires, but according to the law of the Almighty. The judge only puts into practice the law of a constitution. This constitution was not written by him. It is not even him who applies it directly, but he only enforces him. He is only playing a role of mediator. Thus, any threat, gossip or rebellion against a person who knows and represents the commandments of Yahuwah is directly opposing to the Almighty Himself. In the body of the Messiah, at the level of the Spirit, it is exactly the same. As a born-again believer in whom the commandments have been fulfilled by the Messiah and His Holy Spirit, it is natural that the outside world attacks and hates us. Although the world is not generally aware of it, it is against Yahuwah that they are rising up. This is naturally true only in the case when we live according to His will and not according to our own psychic and religious ideas. Most of Yahuwah's prophets have been driven out, exiled, persecuted, and often killed, as their contemporaries have failed to respect this very specific commandment. All the prophets of the Almighty were men who, apart from their cloaks, possessed absolutely nothing. These prophets had no interest in making the judgments they had to announce. An entirely submissive life and complete detachment from the world were the characteristics of these men, who were thus able to exclusively transmit the word of the Creator. The very comfortable state of tolerance, when we diplomatically avoid conflicts and do not proclaim the divine commandments in order to avoid hurting men by contradicting their own laws and traditions, excludes all functioning within the body of the Messiah. As members of the body of the Messiah, we have to endorse this heavy task.
מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. שלום עליכם מלאכי השורש